2, 3.
Cause I'ma dig deep, I'ma stand tall. I got the grit of the underdog. I'm stronger than you think, I can do this on my own. There's a difference between loneliness and doing this alone.
Hi, and welcome to the DC Music Rocks podcast presented by Capital Groove Collective, elevating the sound, voices, and music of the DMV to the world stage one conversation at a time. Here we will highlight the wildly talented DMV musicians that we believe are paving the way in the Washington metropolitan area through diversity of genre, gender, identity, and community. Today we're going to be speaking with the Kromanauts. We have Kush, Kanjia, and Matt. How you guys doing?
All right.
So today I would love to be able to get into just a little bit about who the band is and your history, how you guys came together, and what inspires you to make the music that you put out.
Well, I think the story starts in 2002 when Matt, myself, meet and are in a band together called Rockmaster General. And years later, I meet Kanjia. And then maybe a few years later after that, we become Kromanauts. So yeah, we formed in 2014.
Something like that.
15,
Yeah, 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah. So this is a long story, even at the beginning of ours, you know?
Right.
So that's a lot of music. That's a lot of experiences, a lot of life lived. So, you know, we're at the beginning of this one, but this is already a long story for the three of us.
So I understand that your first official Kromanauts release was Nothing to Lose, and that was 2017, right? So There was a lot of development and music making between 2014, 2015, and the release of Nothing to Lose. Can you talk a little bit about being together as a band and trying to get ready for some music that you want to put out there and a little bit of that time that went in between?
Well, for me, it was like once I met Kush, I hadn't met Matt yet, but Kush was in another band and I was doing my thing. And so in between that, so there were always these days where, because I'm an MC, I don't I sing and I do. So there were a lot of days when I would be out sometimes doing what I do. And I'm like, yo, I don't know anybody in this band. But to see that Kush was one of the players, as soon as he would run into me outside, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's going to be a great night. You know, so once he introduced me to Matt and we started talking about, just music, because me and him at this point were like always talking about stuff that we wanted to do musically. And he was like, dog, you got to meet my boy, Matt, dude. He's an excellent drummer, And so we started talking about the project. And so I meet Matt. And so from that point on, we just started having ideas. And then at that point, Kush and Matt had already started working on instrumentals and stuff like that. So they will email me stuff. So I was thinking about what I was going to do. So they had already had something going on before I came in. And so it was just really, really cool to meet another guy. Like I always talk about this dude, he has a beautiful brain, man. And it's like he computes in real time in the coolest way. And I wanted to call it Nothing to Lose because if you have nothing to lose, nobody can take anything from it. Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of where, we would just come and meet up every Saturday and just figure out what ideas, we could bounce around. We've argued, we've laughed, and.
You've been a band.
And that sheds a little light on how it could take, 3 years to record an album, pretty much recording one day a week.
Piecemeal takes a long time.
Yeah. And so, we try to do as much as we can with time that we're allotted, from our schedules and our lives and whatnot. So over time, it took a lot.
And there are a lot of layers on that album.
Yeah, a lot of layers.
A lot of tracks.
Yeah. Matt would get something, get a piece of equipment, and then it would make everything sound better. So we would have to go through everything again with the DJ just to get the rest of the songs that we done
as we
before.
upgraded the studio, it seems like we'd have to use that new piece of gear.
Yeah.
So things like that. I mean, there's a list of about 10 things like that on that level where we, it took a while.
Yeah. Can I say, we have this one song. Is it the last song on Nothing to Lose, GFY?
GFY.
Yeah, so GFY ruined an almost perfect smoothie because it was I was using this thing on GarageBand, like you know about GarageBand, right?
Oh
So I
yeah.
had these drums that I was messing with, and all of a sudden, Kush gets on the thing, goes doom, 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 and at that point, I'm hearing it with all due respect, GFY, and so I did not realize that I had my smoothie. I mean, I can't even remember what the ingredients were, but at that point, I lose focus, and the whole thing bottles over. So now I'm like, well, it ruined the perfect smoothie. This song better be dope.
So yeah,
Well-
a lot of those kinds of stories. Like over 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
the stories we could tell.
You know,
We be here, yeah, hours just telling stories about
yeah.
how that album got made, and I mean, there's
It's amazing it got made.
a lot
Yeah.
of things we probably shouldn't even talk about.
Yeah, there was some moments, bro.
But you know, on real level, like personal development. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some growing up. You know, personally, for myself, and you know,
Yeah, and we all got
as
to
a
know
group.
each other better and respect each other a lot
And that
more.
kind of went
you know?
into the album, that growth and
Yeah.
that bonding that happened
Exactly.
in those years.
That's really important. I mean, not everybody moves at the same speed, but you guys moved at yours, and the result was an album that everybody worked on cohesively and obviously gave a lot of space to each other to explore and try new things. And so I imagine you all must be really happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, because the thing that I love about it, D, is that for you to actually have something in your head and you're trying to figure it out, but you have no idea what it's really going to sound like until it does. I think that's the beauty of, you know, that's why honestly I love doing it. And just to be able to, like, something started as an idea or as a feeling, and next thing you know, you're around guys that you really mess with, and then you see other people reacting to it. I think that's very, very beautiful.
Initially you get that idea in your head, and so you start out on a path where you're trying to get that sound, but then along the way it starts to develop a kind of a character of its own, and you have to decide.
Yes, it takes a life of its own. Yes, that's yeah.
Do I want to be really rigid and keep this from going down this path, or do I want to just let it breathe and become its own thing?
Sometimes you really don't know.
That's right.
And that's what I mean. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's how we Kromanauts with utmost different quality. You know,
that's what we do.
Yeah,
that's what we here doing.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, that's in essence the experience of a Kromanauts, just exploring those different pathways. You know.
Yeah, that's Elvin Jones, by the way.
And letting things be
Hi,
what
Elvin.
they are and accepting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elvin's seen every take.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Elvin, I mean, nothing to lose. Elvin was in every recording session.
Yeah, he's just
And, you know, yeah, every minute of recording, Elvin was there the whole time with us. And so, yeah, that was a part of the band too.
Like, I did not realize that Elvin likes the harmonica.
Loves it, huh?
Yeah, you remember that thing when Elvin was singing?
He started to sing.
Yeah, there's like a certain tone that
Yeah.
he'll actually.
As soon as he hears it, he's like, "Oh, that's it."
So a couple different scenarios where we've hit that tone. Like one time it was a harmonica.
Yeah.
Another time I think one of us was trying to sing something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elvin's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Working on getting some backing vocal credits there.
Hey, you know, I don't know what his publishing looks like, but we'll let his dad figure that one out.
Trying to figure out what that note is. I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, man.
So you guys are Whammy nominated for Best World Artist, Best Rock Song, and Best Rap Song. So you guys are. Would you say that that's the initial like sound of Kromanauts from Nothing to Lose, or do you feel like that you kind of developed into that sound through this experimentation and collaboration?
Should I take this one?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Nothing to Lose is like a lot of things that I do. I really love reggae, but the thing is, for me to approach music is that whatever the vibe is and whatever happens, I really don't care where the genre takes me.
Right.
You know,
Your song serving.
Yeah, exactly. I like that one. Stolen. No.
Feel free.
Yeah. So with this one, with Nothing to Lose, at that point, like I said, we were still getting to know each other. And so whatever vibes we had, we were doing that. But for this record this time, that was K1, Nothing to Lose. So this is K2, The Holy Dose. Okay. So that's why with Legwork, with songs like Legwork, it's like he had the chords and we were building on that. And to where I'm in the woodshed putting in legwork,
Right.
Yeah, because if you don't woodshed, you ain't about to put in no legwork. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
So,
The modern business term, they call it bootstrapping.
Thank you. A swashbuckling bootstrapping time.
Bootstrapping, legwork.
Rock spiral on the set, But yeah, so that's been fun. And so we're really into K2 right now. And we've been working on it. And I'm glad you guys so how do you feel about the Legwork video?
I loved Legwork. I loved the song and the video. I thought it was really just pulling from so many different places that when you hear bands complain about not being able to identify their sound, I'm like, this must have been really hard for them to identify, like, this is where it comes from and these are the influences.
Like, will you actually believe them when they say that?
Yeah, now I've actually heard a band where if somebody said that, I'd be like, oh yeah, no wonder they had a hard time.
Yeah, they got that problem for sure. Yeah.
So I mean,
true indeed, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
I have to say this because that shot, like to be able to get that shot of Connecticut Avenue, we had to be looking at the lights changing, and it was like to be able to be in the middle of that street to actually get a shot without any traffic. And a lot of the stuff we want to do, we just want a lot of our fans and people all over the world to know that we live in the DMV. I might be from Africa. He might have been born in Gabon. And he's, but
Kuala Lumpur, actually.
Yeah, Kuala Lumpur. Okay. So, but either way, we live in the DMV, and we want a lot of our people to know that we actually have had a good time in this place, and wherever that takes us, we want the people to know that we're rocking with them, and we hope that they rock with us.
How does being a DMV artist affect the music that you make? Like, are you inspired by the region? Are you inspired by the other musicians and artists in the region? Can you talk a little bit about where you're inspired by locally through DMV?
Yeah, I think Legwork is an example of that.
Yeah.
Just the influence.
Peace to Winco, right?
Yeah.
Winco.
Yeah, Winco the Great.
Winco on percussion. Winco the Great, man.
Job band.
Yep.
Maybe a little Bad
We're most honored.
Yeah. And we love Bad Brains. Like, see, so a lot of these
guys here.
Yeah. So
it's,
a lot of those things, like the melting pot, because one of the things that I love about DC is the fact that I've been to a lot of different places, but DC is one of the places where within a block or two, you can get any kind of cuisine. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Not just the food itself, but the people and the culture and their influences you can pull from their experiences. And I see that you do a lot of collaboration. One of your whammy nods right now is the collaboration that you did. Gosh, I have to pull it up because I'm
building.
Cool
Keith. Yeah.
So I mean, Cool Keith is like one of these random artists that is really like the guy that has had his own brand, and he's like been. Am I allowed to say for the culture? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to sound cliche, but Cool Keith has always been his own man, and
I mean, point blank, Cool Keith is a legend.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Cool Keith, you don't really know hip hop. Straight up. So you might enjoy.
You're gonna enjoy Cool Keith. If you go listen to him, you're actually gonna love it.
But if you know what hip hop as a culture is, if you follow if you know any of the history, Cool Keith is there.
Yeah.
Prominently displayed in some of the first great hip hop that was ever made. So he's part of that.
There's many personas.
Yeah. He has all these different personalities. It's completely
so dope. When you look at someone like MF Doom, rest in peace.
Oh my gosh, man.
You look at the people, MF Doom, Cool Keith influenced people like MF Doom.
Yeah.
And there's a direct lineage between Cool Keith and people like MF Doom, Eminem, Andre 3000. I mean, there's so many people that were influenced by what he did. So yeah, it's an honor for us to be able to work with him on that song. And yeah, we're real happy about the Whammy nomination too.
So that feels like two major celebrations, like to check off your bucket list of like really cool things to do and people to collaborate with, just between the is it a 3-song EP with Cool Keith, and then you had a Wilco on Legwork.
That was just a song that we did.
Yeah, no,
because like Matt is like a Cool Keith head. Like Matt was not taking no for an answer. He was like, "Yo, we have to do a song with Cool Keith."
But I mean, the song was on the album. Yeah. So there was on Nothing to Lose.
Yeah, but
and then we released it as a single. Like
released it as a single with an instrumental and
True. Also, so it is a 3-song EP.
And so that's what we've actually been having a lot of fun doing, because we have this other collaboration that we did with Omega Man. Omega Man. Like we have this song called Politics of Greed.
Yeah.
So to be able to collaborate with someone all the way in, is it
Melbourne?
Is it Melbourne or Australia?
Yeah.
So to actually have a song, because he did a remix for Nothing to Lose. And then so with our guy Andy, peace out to Andy Cerruti, man. Shout out Andy. What's up, Andy? What's going on, bro? Yeah, you know. And so to be able to do that, and so with the guys that did the remixes for us, then they were like, okay, well, I have this track. What can you guys do for me? Because, you know, reciprocity, right?
Yeah.
You know, so the back and forth. And that's what we want to be able to do, is reach out to every single one of our people that are breathing and wanting to continue to do that musically, to reach out and touch somebody. And that's really what it's all about.
So is that a consistent process where you try to reach out to people that you think it would be fun to work with, and you just say, hey, this is an idea, and sometimes they respond, or most of the time they respond?
Luckily, most have responded.
Luckily, most times they're always responding so far. So we feel blessed to have that, you know?
Like Cool Keith responded.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know Cool Keith, you know? So we had to holler at him and say, hey, would you be even cool with putting your voice on it? So just to even get a response from him. But I mean, the musicians we've had the pleasure of working with, you know, Joseph Brotherton is one.
Yeah, Joseph Brotherton. He's another one. Oh my gosh, this dude is amazing.
Yeah, check out Joseph Brotherton.
Yeah, check out Joseph Brotherton.
We just saw him last night, actually.
Yeah, we saw him playing outside on the
Adams Morgan.
Yeah, Adams Morgan, and he used to play at JoJo's.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about JoJo's. You know that spot? It's called JoJo's, and
yeah, he's a jazz musician. He's, par excellence.
Yeah,
but, you know him. Another brother named Mitch Thompson.
Mitch Thompson on flute.
Like 7 songs on Nothing to Lose.
Yeah,
he plays African. I mean, not
he plays
Native American.
Plays Native American flute. Indian. Yeah, and then I have to give a shout out to the Amadou Kouyaté. He plays the kora, and he's a master djembe. He's like the Yoda of djembe, coming from a long line of people that play this stuff.
So I mean, it's been cool playing with different folks and getting those responses and being able to, you know, mix with the local musicians that are just in abundance in this area. The DMV is chock full of great talent, and so
that's what we take pleasure.
Be able to tap into that at various points of our explorations. We plan on doing that as much as possible.
As long as we can.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a big fan of the collaborations. I think that the DC scene is incredible for all of the reasons that you mentioned, and I think that personally, I feel like it could get a better rep in the industry for being, you know, a really an essential American music hub, if not a global music hub, when you compare other cities that seem to have great reputations for that. What do you think that the DMV should do next to help elevate it to the next level?
They should just understand one simple fact: little drops of water make a mighty, mighty ocean. So collectively, we have to do it together instead of waiting for somebody else to come. Because one of the things that I've seen is, like, you know, there's all this culture, there's all this diversity happening, but artists are finding themselves having to leave to go to a different place to make it and then come back home. So I want to see us be able to do that here instead of having to go to Nashville to get a record deal and then come back. Instead of having to go to New York instead of having to go, to Atlanta. You know what I mean? We want more happening here where our musicians don't have to do that much going around, and to where we can all be a part of this and we can all enjoy it.
Well, eventually we'll all be able to trace, back to one of your recordings, because you're doing a lot of work to like create those 7 circles of Kevin Bacon, if you will,
Hey,
how about it? How about
Hey,
it?
We'll just figure out how many circles were removed from a Kromanauts record.
Right.
Yeah. Between the three of us, it's a wide spectrum. I mean,
Yeah, man.
and when you look at its influences, who we are as people, and and it reflects in the music, and so we're just looking forward to doing more.
We just want to continue to having fun with it.
Those are the little drops of water that make the mighty ocean, like songs.
Yeah.
And so we're at this point, we're just making songs. We can't play outside or around anybody, so we're just going to keep making songs.
Right.
So, well, speaking of that, we've talked to a lot of other artists right now, because there may have had to be some changes with your agenda, your timeline as a musician, as a band, trying to put out releases and do local shows or to do tours. Can you talk a little bit about what the pandemic's effect has been on your originally intended timeline, and maybe I imagine you've been doing the Holy Dose, doing a lot of work on putting the Holy Dose together during this time. So if you'd like to talk about that or any other kinds of things you've been doing to explore your time together during the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, if we're doing Nothing to Lose, it took us like 3 years to do that. Our timeline didn't really change in terms of being able to, get together. We took definitely a break to make sure we were safe and that we could safely come together.
Because there was really that period we were like, yo, this is wow.
Yeah,
and for me, honestly, what it was is like with this time around with the Holy Dose, it's like I'm not having that much opportunity to test things out in front of people. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely kind of added a different dynamic to it, because doing with Nothing to Lose, we were doing shows. So even though it would be an idea, I could test it out and see if people are rocking with me. But it's a little bit more complicated now, because I just don't want to do a YouTube or IG video. I want to actually feel if they're feeling me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that did add a different dynamic to it. But timeline wise, I don't really think that it's kind of affected anything, other than sometimes, I should be writing some verses for them. And thank you for not giving me crap about it. And, but other than that, yeah, man, we're just plugging away.
You guys launched Legwork in October of last year. What's your timeline for, do you have any more singles coming out, or do you have a release date for the Holy Dose already, or is it
right
under
now,
wraps?
We don't have a Holy Dose. It's.
Hey, I'll put it out there. Okay. At this point, for the Holy Dose, I mean, with the foreseeable future, not looking that great for live music. Like, we just got to record it, and we can do videos. So the idea would be to do as many videos for the songs that we release from the Holy Dose. And at this point, we'll release all of them. I mean, who knows,
But the thing is, we want there to be a visual representation of every single song that's going to be on K2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And because Holy Dose is working on this song called Dark Money, and then the Moog came into play, where it was actually really cool, because we were actually using this Moog with Matt and Kush, of course, and in order for us to finish this song, we had to have this Moog. And so Matt was like, yo, I need to own the Moog. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey. Yeah, this guy right here,
There it is.
Props to that thing, So we're dealing with that. Yeah, it's just been a journey for all three of us, and we're just going to keep recording and just come up with this product that we just want it to be an immersive experience. Like, whoever listens to the Holy Dose should not think about that they're listening to a rock album or a reggae album or a rap album. They're just listening and they're taking a journey with us. That's what my goal for it is, you know?
Absolutely. I think that we agree on being one song at a time as that the whole album should be a journey, and that listening to
Me too. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
you know, listening to one song and kind of thinking, well, that's all that band is capable of putting out, because this of one song is a little like saying, well, I can only paint landscapes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
we're thinking about the single release with the video.
I think we got two
And-
probably on the horizon right now.
Yeah.
We may have two on
Yeah.
the horizon, but
Yeah.
there's other songs that I think can still be put in that same
Yeah.
context. So we may have upwards of 5 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hold us to it, but yeah, I guess we're going to do as much as we can, because, like I said, that's all we can really do right now is record and shoot video.
And little drops of water make a mighty, mighty ocean,
So,
bro.
yeah, that's kind of the plan for 2021, is to do as much of that, and
Yeah.
you know, maybe a release of all of the songs at one time may happen.
Yeah.
But we're kind of in a singles, you know, environment.
Oh, it will happen.
Oh,
In
yeah.
terms of, you know, how
You
people
know.
release music. I mean, the album is not the same as it used to be. So
Right.
maybe we'll just give every one, and they can,
Right.
and then maybe we'll put out the album after we put every single one out, you know?
You know, because COVID really changed the way a lot of this stuff happens right now, and everybody's having to reimagine a whole lot.
And we're doing that in real time.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
actually right now.
yeah. So, and in a way, it's a blessing, because, you know, everything that happens is an opportunity instead of it, you know, being a problem. So, you know, in some cases you have to replace your ifs with when faced with a decision that, you know, something might have been taken away, but it might be a window for you to get something. You know, it's a portion of finding the solution to the problem instead of being the problem within the solution, you know?
yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, my band is in a similar boat. We're really working on one song at a time, so I can resonate with that. And also just that the video, you know, element is so important now. It's almost like
need
you
it
can't have
now.
a song
You
without it.
Need it now. It's almost like you can't. Yeah.
Are you working on the video development yourself as a group? Or are you working with some other
You know.
DC filmmakers?
Yeah, like
Legwork.
Darnley did Legwork.
Yeah,
like,
Legwork was, I mean, we did the treatment ourselves
Yeah.
and went to Darnley
Yeah,
to execute. And, you know, he did all of that on his day off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
that all happened in one day. Like, we got the video. We shot the video like one morning.
Yeah, we had
The next
24
morning,
hours
we had
to do it.
Legwork.
Yeah.
Darnley
had
did
24
all
hours
he
to do
shot everything.
He's a
Yeah.
mega pro.
Edited everything in 24 hours. What you see is what he did in 24 hours on his day
Yeah, so
off.
we literally had to figure it out. We went, and me and him were talking. We went and scouted locations, Rock Creek Park. We walked all through that park, man. Like,
So
you
yeah,
know.
it's great that we had Darnley to call,
yeah,
you know, and in the situation we were in, it worked out. And so that's kind of one of those unexplainable things. Like, you know, we didn't plan any of that.
nah, because you know we had to get up at like 5:30 in the morning to get down.
Yeah, I mean, just everything that
Yeah,
happened.
and we had
you know.
a day. We had to figure
Yeah,
it out
Darnley had
in
a
one
day.
day.
You know what I'm saying? He happened to have a day.
We had a day.
He normally doesn't have a day. You know?
Yeah,
He's a
so we
busy
had
guy.
to get all that done in a day.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that you'll get to, you know, pick his brain again for the next one?
2 days.
Will he give you 2 days?
Next time? Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get 2 days the next time. You
Yeah,
know,
we're shooting for that, you know?
That's great. Well, hey guys,
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you all afternoon, but I'd love to know: are there any other are there any other like special causes or you know, like human interest things that you guys are focused on as a band? I've talked to some artists who are really about like music as a healing for people with mental illness. I've talked to some people who are, you know, really stuck on, like, say, stopping human trafficking. Do you guys have any like causes or things that you really support together as a group?
Uh,
I don't know if you would say anything in particular, like a cause or a group.
like a nonprofit?
Yeah, you know,
Is
nothing
that
like
what you're
that.
talking about,
Yeah, I mean,
or-
no, we're not really like attached to anything like that. But
Not
in
yet.
general,
Like, not yet.
The,
But you're
the
talking about-
Make-A-Wish Foundation, you know, like, just did he?
no, we're with the treat humans.
Yeah, we're with the treat
know,
human beings
well-
as they should be treated. And
Coalition of,
yeah,
of the world.
the coalition of the
We-
world, and you know,
We endorse them
yeah,
and
you
all
know,
the things that they do. That coalition of treating humans how
yeah,
you would wish to be
and
treated.
honestly, I believe that each musician, every person, no matter what it is that you do, as people, we have to support our own. We're like, how much do you cost? And then we pay you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we could do that, you know, you could put a foundation name on that. So Kromanauts do that. We make sure that each man and woman is proving their metal and they get fair
With the
rate.
Break Bread Foundation.
Yeah, the Break
we're-
Bread Foundation.
We've
We
been
break
longtime
bread
members of
around
the
here.
Break Bread
Kromanauts
Foundation
break bread
of
around
America.
here. You know what I'm saying? Not a single artist has
each
ever
one
been a
teach
part
one.
of any of our project that didn't get paid. That. And that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's doing a show, let's say if you are performing, I'm not calling you to get a free ticket. I'm asking you, how much did your ticket, how much does it cost at the door? I'm doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, that's the thing. Everybody's time is worth something, and artists should treat each other
Exactly.
like their time is valuable, because it is. I
Every moment counts.
Every woman counts.
I always tell people when I'm doing like consulting work, or if I'm coming into the studio, and I always make sure that I'm really clear about my rates, because I tell
Right.
people you're not really paying me to sing for you or to work with you. You're really paying me because I'm not working on my own shit right now.
Yeah,
That's good shit right there. That's great.
true.
You know?
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and so, and that's what we love about it, because if I could give a shout out to Professor Boykin from Brown University, I did a song with him. It's called Dancing for Freedom. It's going to be, it was produced by Stefan Alexander, professor of physics. And when it came time for him to record it, even though he was my boy, he asked me how much it cost per hour. I was like, yo, you can record it at Nonagon Studios. Right?
Yeah.
And he didn't argue. He paid rate. He came and he was happy about his project. So that's what we're talking about.
And that's how like the scene can support itself.
Yes,
and
exactly.
And empower itself. One way to do that is to pay each other when we work together, and to go out of our way to work with each other and pay each other. I mean, that's part of it. If we don't do that,
What are we really doing?
what do we really expect
Right.
long term if we can't do that with each other? And it's so easy to do because it's
Yes.
so much to love.
Yeah.
There's so much to love and interact with.
Yeah. So again, I approach it with that way. Like if somebody comes out with a record, instead of me going to look at their song on YouTube, I go, where can I buy it?
Right.
And so all of us are down with that stuff. Like if we like your record, we go on iTunes, wherever. How much is it? $1.99, $2.99. I'm gonna buy it. See? Because that's what we're trying to. So if the question that you were asking about what kind of nonprofit we're a part of, we're about the nonprofit of paying it forward.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you being a guest on the CGC Presents DC Music Rocks podcast. I had a really good time. I hope you did too.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure. Matt, Kanjia, and Kush, thank you guys for coming and being a part of the show today. And we're excited to share your music with our listeners.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Like it or
Thanks for
not,
having us.
Kromanauts going rock, you know.
Do you have speed? nobody do it like what? Can't nobody do it like so me. Keep your head up high and lift your weight up just a little bit. Yeah. Be blessed in the pursuit of righteousness.
With nothing but a lyrical slingshot, shot. All we got is us. All we got is us. All we got is us. All we got is us.
Can nobody do it like me?
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 I keep my head up high, lift my weight up just a little bit. Yeah. I'm blessed in the pursuit of righteousness. Cause I'ma dig deep, I'ma stand tall.